So we are going to start lying down, as I mentioned. Welcome, everybody. Happy Women Physicians Day to everyone who is just logging on. And we're going to start lying down in Supta Baddha Konasana, which is knees apart, soles of the feet together, back on the floor. And I invite you today to decide what feels good to your arms. They might be hand to heart, hand to belly, might be arms overhead in the easy cactus shape, might be arms out in a T. Take a moment and notice what feels good to you as a place to relax and invite a little bit of relaxation. And as we start today, in honor of National Women Physicians Day, I decided to celebrate and practice Whimsy. And the invitation of that is that most of us as women physicians don't have enough whimsy in our life, and perhaps that's a judgment, but I would suggest that we all could use a little more. We've spent most of our lives doing, achieving, accomplishing. We're very busy serving and giving. And we might want to invite a little more balance, a little more whimsy. And whimsy is lighthearted and playful. It lets go of a bit of the seriousness and that hypervigilance that many of us are experts in. It gives you permission to let go of the worrying. It might even give you permission, like children, to pretend to be something that you want to be. Children very often engage in pretend play. It's whimsical. They become a chef or a ballerina or whatever it is they might wish to be. And whimsy invites this idea of pretending to be what you want to be, trying it on, enjoying it, letting yourself feel that way. And so the invitation of today's class is to invite some whimsy. Maybe take a break from the worrying and the doing and the being, showing up for this practice with fresh, young eyes, a light-hearted, perhaps heart-centered approach, and maybe a little bit of wonder. So noticing how that sits with you today. What of that invitation can you allow in? Can you invite in? Can you embrace or welcome? Allowing that you have given so much for so long, accomplished so much, achieved so much. Could you pause here on your mat today and invite, practice, and play with this idea of whimsy? Practicing that lightness, practicing feeling ways you like to feel, letting go of that responsibility, and perhaps a little softness here as you rest, thinking about that young girl who perhaps missed out on some of the whimsy as she worked towards doing, being, accomplishing, and achieving. Perhaps inviting her to join you on the mat today, whether she's you as a child, you in your 20s, you in your 30s and 40s, who knows? But inviting that whimsical version of you, the one that liked to pretend to be things, the one that liked to play and dance in the wildflowers, the one that had all kinds of aspirations to be all kinds of things. Noticing how you feel with this invitation. Someone who has accomplished and achieved and gives and serves and takes care of and is responsible, but who can also have this other side that could be invited in a little bit more or any time. What might that look like? Come back to your breath here. And notice your chest rise and fall as you let this idea of whimsy percolate in your head, maybe in your heart space, maybe in your belly, letting it circulate around with the breath. Noticing if you need to invite ease or lightness into any specific spots of your body that are resistant to this idea. Notice where it's welcome. Notice if you feel anxious about it or it seems fun. You're ready. Letting whatever is be. For many of you, it might feel a little uncomfortable even, letting that be too. Maybe it's just an experiment, a test of change. You're going to try it on. And wherever your hands are, bring a hand to heart and a hand to belly, just checking in, noticing how you feel with this invitation, noticing how you feel today, and allowing yourself to bring whatever of it in is accessible and available today without judgment. Whimsy doesn't have judgment, doesn't have worry. It's flexible and easy and light. Breathing a long, deep inhale, not too effortful, filling yourself up with oxygen, setting yourself up for success and feeling good. And a huge, long, smooth exhale, letting it go. And we'll do one more here. Big, deep breath, filling yourself up with all the good stuff, the healing stuff, the possibility, a little lightness, buoyancy. And exhaling any tension, worry, or heaviness that might float away for now. You can pick it up whenever. And take a moment here to set your intention around this idea of whimsy, or if that word doesn't work for you, perhaps lightness or play or ease or lighthearted. And when you've connected with your version of that, bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs, and we'll bring our knees together. Stretch your legs long in front and your arms long above, making yourself as tall and skinny and long as you can. Stretching and wiggling from side to side. Shimmy both side bodies. Arms up above you, grab your fingers, reaching as tall and long. Huge breath in, point your toes as long as they can, aligning your spine here on the floor. And exhale, release. Inhale, reach tall, tall, tall. Filling up every nook and cranny, all the way to your toes. And exhale, let it out. Right thumb and middle finger will grab the left wrist. Draw your left wrist to the right. Walk your feet to the right. Right ankle will be on the bottom. Place your left ankle atop the right ankle, coming into a banana shape or a half moon, whichever feels more light to you. Exhale. Inhale, tug the left wrist to the right. Tug the right ankle to the right. Perhaps wrap those left toes around the right foot. Exhale, release, enjoying your banana or crescent moon. Pointing toes, flexing ankles. Breathe in, tug gently to the right. And exhale. Walking, release the clasp of your hands. Walking your hands back to center, uncross your feet. Walk your feet all the way to the left front corner, right ankle atop left. Left fingers grab right wrist, tug the left wrist to right wrist to the left, coming into the banana crescent moon on this side. Inviting the breath into every nook and cranny of the right waist, just noticing any tender spots, thanking them for all their hard work. Exhale, let it go. Inviting that space. Whimsy requires a lightness and a space to move. When we're all packed in tight, nothing works. Breathing in once again, stretching, pointing toes, tugging wrists. Exhale, let it out. Release hands, release ankles, walk back to center. Once again, grow tall and long, as tall as you can. Place your palms to points to face one another, pardon me, point your toes, fingers reach as tall as you can, growing long. Exhale, release the left side, right side stays stretching long. Inhale, switch sides, stretch left hand, left foot long, and release. Bring hands down by your sides and notice how you feel. Bend your knees. Walk your heels towards your rear end. Palms will be on the floor. We're going to press up into bridge pose, keeping it gentle to begin, keeping it kind. Lift the balls of your feet up off the floor. Heels press into the floor. Palms press into the floor. Forearms press into the floor. Lower soles of the feet. Lift your hips up, reaching your hips towards the sky. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you. Hips reach towards the sky. Envision the front of the hips like flashlights shining up, like they happen sometime, those spotlights in the sky. Your hips are reaching to the sky. Knees will energetically connect. Bring your hands to the sides of your mat. Tug your mat forward. And as you're here, envision a river pouring under your bridge. That river is there, can pick up all your worries, all your heaviness, all the things you'd like to let go, letting them drop in the river. Perhaps it's someone who's hurt you or something that didn't work right, just dropping it in and letting it float away. Lifting hips up, breathing in. Exhale, hips reach higher and letting whatever might need to pour or melt into the river do so. One more big breath. Envisioning this river. Perhaps it's a fast one, perhaps it's a slow one, perhaps it's post rains, letting it carry the negative energy, the worry, the stress, that tightness, letting it carry it away. Untuck shoulders, release hands, and lower your hips to the floor. Pause and notice how you feel. Hug knees into chest here, coming into what they call in kids yoga, ant pose. You'll hug your knees tightly in towards you. You could clasp your fingers if you can reach them. Huge breath in. Exhale, hug your knees, bring forehead to knees, coming into a pill bug and just squeezing tight, 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 perhaps rocking on your sacrum here. Notice how it feels. Exhale, lower down. Lift soles of the feet to the sky. Come into happy baby and have a rock here. Coming back into that childlike fun. Allow yourself to rock as far to either side as you can, perhaps even almost tipping over. Notice where the edge is. Play with it. Straight one leg. Enjoy the stretch. Bend the knee. Bring knees to floor. Don't forget to breathe. Set the intention to let go of the tightness in the hips. Lots of gripping, inviting softness and wiggle room. Straight left knee. Enjoy that left leg to whatever degree you can. No judgment. There is no judgment in Whimsy. Bend the left knee. Bring the soles of your feet together. Press heels towards your groin, creating a little diamond shape, and wiggle once again. Wiggle on the sacrum. Not worrying about stillness here, letting yourself play for a moment, rocking. Press heels towards the floor and pause in stillness, enjoying the quiet. Release your hands, lower your feet to the floor. Your knees will come back in line with your hips. Your feet will be in line with your hips. We're going to lift up into reverse table, or in kids yoga, we call it crab. You will bring your hands underneath you. You can face your palms behind, your fingers behind you. Press into your hips, lifting up your hips, coming hips in line with knees, shoulders in line with hips, and decide what works for your head here. Your head may drop back or you may hold it up, making sure you're relatively comfortable here in your crab or reverse table. Have a little rock here, noticing the wrists, lifting hips higher. Enjoy your belly here, enjoy your hands. If you can, turn your fingers to face the sides and have a little rock here. Notice the lovely release in the shoulders. Enjoy it, rocking a little more. If you can, bring your fingers towards your heels and rock. Notice your wrists and your shoulders here. A little bit of a different stretch. Inviting lightness. Lifting hips up. And slowly you'll lower your hips down to the floor. Straighten your legs long in front and come to seated. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Legs are long, ankles are flexed. Spread your toes wide. Toes are part of that whimsy. Wiggling the toes, big toes, little toes. Engage belly. Hands slide down the thighs to your shins. Back is flat, hinging into an easy forward fold. Enjoy it. Your heart is going to shine forward, light. Letting that light shine forward, perhaps seeing with your heart as a whimsical invitation. Noticing here how you feel, gazing forward. Huge breath in. Exhale, hinge forward a wee bit more. Notice if you can slide your hands towards your feet, perhaps towards the outer edges of the feet. Roll the outer edges of the feet towards you. Ankles are flexed. You'll notice some different tiny shifts in the back of the legs. Spread your toes wide. Notice what happens. Relax them. Slide up your shins to your thighs, sitting up nice and tall. Bring the soles of your feet together, coming into a butterfly pose. Soles of the feet will be together, hands on the ankles, and have a rock. Enjoying your rock, rocking side to side. Find stillness, close your eyes. Heart shining forward, tilt that pelvic bowl forward like an anteverted uterus for those of you who are OBGYNs. Someone asked me what that meant, and so maybe that will help a few of you who understand that analogy. Tilt the pelvis anteriorly so the spine aligns with ease. When we are feeling more whimsical and more light, and notice you don't have to be all the way, it's not all or none, things feel a bit more light. See if you can straight your right leg. We're coming into a flying butterfly. You may just do one leg at a time. Grab your toe if you can. Lower your foot to face the other sole and try the opposite foot. Spread that butterfly wing on the other side. Enjoy it. Coming back to butterfly pose. Sit up nice and tall. Have another rock here. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward, shine your heart forward, grow your spine tall, 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 and root your sit bones, ischial spines downward, reaching as tall as you can. Everything engaged. Press your knees towards the floor and enjoy it. Huge breath in and out. Spread your legs wide, coming into wide angle pose. Rock side to side on your sit bones. Hands will come between your legs. Walk your hands forward, coming into a forward fold. Back is flat. Flex your ankles. Spread your toes as wide as you can. Enjoy the energy in your toes. Back is flat. Wiggle your toes further forward. Heart forward, crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Huge breath in. Exhale, point toes. Inhale, flex ankles. Exhale, point toes. Slowly slide up. Right leg will bend, right sole of the foot comes into the left inner thigh. Bring right hand behind the right hip. Drop your hand to the floor, spread fingers wide, lift up into wild thing. Stretching, wiggling fingers, outer edge of the left foot is on the earth. Enjoying your wild thing. Wiggling, reaching, left hip reaches to the sky. See if you can drop left shoulder back a little bit, gaze upward. You can drop that left shoulder back a lot and roll open. See what's fun, see what feels good. Lower your hip down, come to a seat. Stretch right leg out to the right, left sole of the foot comes into the right inner thigh. Take a moment to sit up on those sit bones, align your spine. Left hand comes about 18 inches behind the left hip. Plant your palms, spread your fingers wide. Right toes will drop to the left, pick up your hips, coming into wild thing on this side. Enjoy it, stretch, wiggle. Notice if you want to gaze upward and roll the shoulder back, if that feels good or not, you choose. Huge breath in and out. Stretching the entire waist, the entire right side body here. Letting yourself enjoy it. Be in the moment, letting go of what's ahead of you, what's behind you, giving yourself permission to not worry for this moment. Lower hips, coming down to a seat. Stretch the left leg wide. Bend both knees gently. Taking your hands, you're going to thread them under both calves. We're going to come into turtle pose. Your hands will come to the outer edges of the shins and you'll fold forward. Notice how far you can fold forward. You can make your turtle however it works for you. I don't actually fold forward very much in this position. Some of you will be able to fold all the way forward and look like a turtle. And in kids yoga, they use animal poses to take some of the seriousness out of it. And so let this be fun. Enjoy being a turtle as if you were on the beach in Hawaii or floating in that warm ocean. Noticing as you're here, breathe and enjoy how that might feel. Untangle your hands and your feet. Sitting up tall, and you'll bring your legs in front once again. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Find those sit bones and send them downward. Knees will bend gently. Bend the right knee. Pick up the right foot, bring it to the outer edge of the left thigh. Taking left hand, wrap it around the right knee, hugging it tight. Twist to the right. Drop right hand on the floor with a cupcake under your hand. Don't squish the frosting. Inhale, lift tall, grow tall. Exhale, gaze over right shoulder. Notice your left toes. Give them a wiggle. Spread your toes wide. Inhale, grow tall. Send the breath into the right hip. Exhale, gaze over right shoulder. Enjoy it. One more breath here. Inhale, growing as tall as you can. Exhale, gaze over the right shoulder. Some people call this the reindeer pose. I have no idea why, but enjoy it. Twist back to center. Have a little counter twist. Whimsy notices that there might be a little stiffness there and lets it go. Come back to center. Pick up the right ankle, bring it right sole of foot into left inner thigh. Engage your belly. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Twist to the left. Fold forward over the left leg. Reach towards left ankle, left shin without judgment. And enjoy the space in the right rib cage here. Allow head and neck to flop forward. Perhaps shake your head loose. Enjoy the stretching in the left hip, left leg. Turn your ankle so the sole of the foot faces in different directions here and enjoy the shin. Notice that these little wiggles and shimmies when we let go a little bit feel really good. Flex toes towards your shin. Point toe towards the floor. Slide up the left thigh. Draw your knee in towards you. Take a moment to hug it tight. Find the sit bones. Have a little rock. Hugging it as tight as you can. Left hand's going to come to the right edge of the foot, straight right leg, and come into the balance pose here. You may wish to put your hand behind you. You may wish to just stretch. Turn the sole of your foot in either direction. A little lightness. Notice what happens when you turn it, point it, and flex it. Hug it in a wee bit more as you sit up tall. Find your ischial spines, grow the spine tall, reach the crown of your head to the sky, drop your right shoulder back. Huge breath in. Exhale, press the sole of the foot into your hand or just in front and enjoy. Bend right knee, lower your foot to the floor. Give the right knee a hug and rock on those hips, giving them just a moment. Stretch right leg long, bend the left knee, hugging it in towards you. Giving it a hug first. Crossing it over right thigh to the outer right thigh. Right arm hugs that left knee, giving it a huge hug. Remembering you can hug yourself and that feels good. Left hand comes behind, twist to the left. Inhale and lengthen. The twists are spine lengthener. You're literally growing. Whimsical would envision yourself growing like a plant, reaching the crown of your head to the sky. Heart is shining forward to find the sun. Fingers on the earth, pressing into the floor, not squishing the cupcake. Inhale. Exhale, gaze over that left shoulder and enjoy it. Huge breath in, lengthen and grow. Filling your heart space with breath, kindness, fun. Exhale, releasing the worry and the stress. Permission to let go of the worry for now. Permission to let go of the responsibility. To enjoy light. Come back to center and enjoy the twist, counter twist for a moment. Pick up left foot, bring it to the left side of the right leg. Sole of the foot comes to the inner thigh. Knee is 90 degrees directly outward. Inhale, raise arms, twist to the right, fold forward. Drop your hand to your outer foot, shin, lower head and neck, and allow yourself to enjoy. Enjoy a moment of space, peace. Perhaps let it be delicious. Feel graceful for fun. Remembering that kids, especially little girls, feel graceful doing all kinds of things. We get to some point where we decide we're not graceful. But what if we are? Drop your head and neck. Breathe and enjoy it. Huge, juicy, delicious breath in. Pretending to feel graceful if you don't. And if you do, allow it, enjoy it. Slowly rise up the right thigh, pardon me. Bend the left knee in, hugging it towards you. Right hand comes to the outer left foot, straight left leg. Enjoy that IT band. Hand can come behind you. Turn sole of the foot a little bit in either direction. Point your toe, flex your ankles, spread your toes. Play with these tiny little movements. Subtle is significant. Press foot into hand if you have a little more room. Find your ischial spine. Sit up tall. Notice what happens when you lengthen and stand tall. So often we shirk and roll into our bellies. Sit up tall and enjoy how it feels. Notice you maybe have a little more energy. Sometimes pretending is good. Point your toes, flex your ankles. Bend that knee, coming back to the floor. And we'll come to sit cross-legged. And you can either sit cross-legged, come into double pigeon, or come into cow face pose, which to me is whimsical because it's strange. Cow face pose is stacking right knee atop left knee and finding your sit bones, grabbing your ankles, tugging them back. Sit bones hit the floor, tilt your pelvis forward, and sit up nice and tall. Some of you, this will work. Others of you will have ankle stacked on knee, and others of you will have right ankle in front of left knee. Doesn't matter which one. Sit here for a moment and send some love and appreciation to the right hip. And wherever you are, stretch your arms wide, palms will face forward. We're going to come into eagle pose. Left arm, right arm under left. Cross your elbows, palms face the back wall, and bring your hands together wherever they come. Inhale, elbows to shoulder height. You're all tangled up in a twisty pretzel here. Huge breath in. Lift elbows up a wee bit if you have some space. Exhale, lower to shoulder height. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower to shoulder height. See if pressing elbows in opposite direction would feel good. Noticing the sensations, perhaps envisioning them as sparks or fireflies moving around between your scapula. Rock a wee bit on the hips. Notice how that feels. Inhale, lift elbows up a wee bit. If it feels good, round forward into a tight, twisted ball. Dropping head and neck, and just notice the different things that shift here. Huge, juicy breath in. Exhale, release, letting the stress, worry, holding tight, responsibility go. Inviting that softness, space. Bring elbows back to shoulder height. Untangle them. Stretch your arms wide. Pinch the scapula together and release. Lower hands to the floor and untangle your legs wherever they might be. Stretching them long, bang your knees, have a little fun with that, and switch sides. So left knee atop right, you can come into cow face pose, you can come into double pigeon, or you can sit cross-legged. Doesn't matter, just switch sides. Wherever you were, have a little rock. Send some love into your hips, both sides, a little massage. Perhaps grab your ankles if you're in cow face pose. Draw your ankles towards your hips. Sit up tall, grow tall wherever you are. Breathe in the breath. Let it puff your chest out a bit like a puffer fish. Exhale, release, and grow even taller. And pause. Notice how you feel. Hands will come out towards the sides, palms facing forward. We're going to come into eagle arms on the other side, twisting yourself up like a pretzel. Your left elbow's on the bottom this time. Hands come together, elbows to shoulder height, and pause here. If you have room and it feels good, lift up an inch. Exhale, lower. Press elbows in opposite direction. Notice how that feels. If your arms don't love eagle pose or your shoulders doesn't work for your body, give yourself a hug. That releases dopamine. And hugs are whimsical. Squeezing yourself, sending yourself love. We don't need other people to do it. We can release the hormones ourselves if we want. Sending yourself dopamine, oxytocin, a little serotonin, squeezing tight, hugging, enjoying the hug. 20 seconds is the magic number of hugs. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, round forward into your belly. You're kind of giving yourself a hug this way. Drop head and neck. And enjoy. Slowly rolling up, lower hands, bring your hands to the sides, lower them down, untangle, bang your legs out, And we will come to hands and knees. You can reorganize yourself if you happen to need that. Finding a happy hands and knees. And what would happy hands and knees be? It would be taking good care of your wrists, perhaps spreading fingers with equal pie shapes. Some of you might want fists. Knees, hips width, tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale for cow pose. Enjoy the juicy cow. Let yourself stretch and really enjoy it. This can be a delicious pose. Reaching the crown of your head to the sky and envisioning, I used to call them happy cows. There's all these cows on Highway 1 in California that have the most delightful views. So envision yourself as a happy cow. A lot of cows, at least free range cows, are having fun. Reaching towards the sky, rear end tilts upward. Enjoy that front of your belly, the lower back. Breathe in. Exhale into the most wonderful cat ever. The cats who stretch like this really enjoy it. Let yourself enjoy it. Let in the pleasure. Envision that cat that just is really going for it. Inhale for the most delightful cow ever. Thinking about it that way, delightful. Exhale into a cat that feels amazing. Coming back to hands and knees, drop to your elbows, come into puppy pose and enjoy that puppy. Thinking about your dog, who my dog does this pose all the time, though she's very old and not a puppy. Wiggling your forearms front, forehead comes to the floor, third eye, stretch the armpits, reach the sit bones to the sky. Pretend to be a puppy for a moment. The puppies pretty much have no responsibility and just enjoy themselves. What might that be if you did that for even a minute? What would it feel like? Breathing in here, don't forget to breathe. And out. Another breath in and out. One more breath. Stretch your fingers a little bit longer, a little wiggle, a little shimmy. You may need to shimmy your rear too. Feet are light on the floor, nothing pressing firmly in. Enjoying this fullest, deepest stretch. And breathe the fullest, deepest breath you can. Bringing elbows back under you, palms to the floor, coming back up to hands and knees. A cat cow because it feels good. Let it be a whimsical one. Reaching belly to the sky. Come back to a flat tabletop. Draw your right shoulder towards your right rear end. Have a little like sway, like you're wagging your tail. Gaze to the right. Enjoy it. Come back to center. Left hip sways outward, looking at the left hip over the left shoulder. Come back to center. Once again, gaze to the right arm, gaze over right shoulder, right hip comes to meet it, and back. Come back to center. Curl your toes and lift up into a wonderful downward dog. And let yourself play with your dog. Walk the dog. The dog could even go for a run if you wish. Pressing into hands. Hips are the apex. Reach as tall as you can. Enjoy the whole spine. And let this be a loose dog. Wiggling hips side to side. Really dig into it. Notice what feels good. And when this dog feels complete, walk hands towards feet, feet towards hands, coming into a forward fold. Widen your feet towards the outer edge of your mat. Clasp your hands at your sacrum. Shoot your hands towards the sky. Allow the hands to fall overhead and neck and release forward. Bend one knee and then the other. Enjoy the front of the shoulders. Perhaps sway a bit, shift your weight forward and back.
Breathe. Take 2 breaths here. Perhaps lift up all 10 toes as you do and bring all your attention into your shoulders. Lower the toes. Lower your hands to your sacrum. Let them run down the backs of your thighs towards the earth. Pause at the bottom. Come into ragdoll. Hands on either elbow and soften in. Knees are bent super generously. This should feel amazing. If you need a block underneath or your head doesn't like being upside down, back can be flat, but bend your knees and sink in. Engage belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch till you end up standing. And take a minute. Just notice how you feel when you arrive. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Drop your chin to chest. Bring your chin back to neutral. Gaze upward, high as you can. Lower down. Come back to normal. So chin is at neutral. Shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Squeeze as tight as you can. Exhale, release. Palms open towards the front. Let it melt and enjoy it. Reach. Inhale, reach left hand to the sky. Right hand's going to pour down the right thigh. Left foot reaches into the earth. Whole left side body tilts and stretches. See if your right fingertips can reach your right knee, and be kind to your head. Notice what feels good here. If you wish, gaze up over the left shoulder, wiggle fingers. You can envision the rain pouring down from that left hand. Head comes back to neutral. Slide up the right side. Left hand comes to left thigh, sliding the left hand down towards the left knee. Right arm reaches over right ear. Lengthen entire right side body, using your belly here, enjoying it. Huge breath in and out. Come back to center. Open, bring your arm back down towards both hands on your thighs. How about that? Widen your feet towards a little bit beyond hips width. Right hand's going to slide down your right rear end towards the back of your right thigh. Reach your left arm up towards the sky in front. Reaching the palm is facing forward, and you're going to tilt backwards, coming into what they call elephant pose. Your left hand is your trunk, reaching towards the sky. Right hand is sliding down the back of the right thigh. You have a slight arch in your back. Widen your feet if you need to, so you're steady and stable. Enjoy the whole left front side body. Switch sides. Your left hand's going to come down the back of the left thigh. Right arm reaches up like a trunk. Arm comes back. Reach your fingers, spread your fingers wide. Enjoy the back body. Sliding back up the right thigh. Coming to stand, bring hands to heart, bring feet together, and pause here in the middle. Taking a moment to notice how you feel. Notice what feels good. Wiggle toes. Lower hands to your sides. Inhale, reach them out and up towards the sky. Your palms will come together, slight arch back. Fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Enjoy your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Drop your head and neck towards the floor. Press fingers onto the floor. See if you can straighten your knees. Enjoy the backs of the legs here. Bend one knee, straight the other. Switch sides. Let yourself enjoy it. Juicy. Bend both knees. Widen your feet all the way out towards the side. We're going to come down into a yogi squat. Your heels will come to the floor, knees will be apart, elbows press into the knees, palms come together. Thumbs come to your sternum. Press heels towards the floor. Gaze forward. Enjoy this release here. Enjoy the calves. If your calves don't reach the floor, doesn't matter. Huge breath in and out. Press palms together. Notice the skin to skin on your fingers. Rub each finger together. Press elbows into the knees, gazing forward. Letting yourself enjoy a little bit of this ridiculousness of the pose. We're going to lower our hands, and in kids yoga, we call this frog pose. Fingers will come to the floor. You'll bring your feet, your knees a little bit more towards the front, sitting up tall. So you're on your fingertips, arms are straight, gaze forward, envisioning yourself like a frog. You can bring your hands together if you want. Just have fun with it. Does it really look like a frog? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Pressing fingers onto the floor. Straighten your knees. Your feet will face forward as you straight your legs, coming into a forward fold. Drop head and neck. And allow your hands to opposite elbow and have a little bit of a sway here. Side to side, bend one knee and then the other. Bring your hands to waist, flat back, rise up to stand, flat back. Turn toes outward, widen your stance a wee bit and arms come up into star pose. Stretching tall as you can, spread fingers wide, lift up all 10 toes. Use the four corners of your feet, connect your feet to the earth. Use your feet as resources. Lower your toes, stretch your fingers taller. Use your belly, stretching as tall as you can. Fingers wide, equal pie shapes as wide as you can, reaching tall, tall, tall. Bring your arms out to the side like a 5-point star. Bend knees, knees will come over the toes, squat into a yogi, a goddess pose. Knees are over the toes or over the ankles, hips come down. You're coming into like a second position and your arms come up into a cactus shape. Bouncing a little bit, have a little bit of fun with it. Draw your elbows back. Huge breath in. Exhale, lower elbows to waist. Inhale, straight tall. Exhale, elbows to waist. Inhale, straight, your arms tall. Coming back to a cactus arms, raise right heel and lower it down. Raise your left heel and lower it down. If it's fun, breathe first, wiggle your fingers, raise both heels, sink hips down, lower. Bring hands to hips while your heels are up, if that works for you. Lower your heels, straight your knees, heel toe your feet back together. Sit down as if you're sitting in a chair, coming into chair pose. Rear end sits back, your knees are going to bounce here. Shift your weight into your heels, not into your toes. Your heart is reaching forward. See if you can bring your arms out towards the sides, flip your palms downwards, sit all the way back. This pose is the albatross pose for fun. Wiggle your fingers. Sit your hips back, back, back. Lift up all 10 toes. Wiggle them, lower them down, lower hands, reach your sit bones to the sky and release. Couple breaths here in a forward fold, whichever version feels good to you. You may want knees bent, you may want knees straight. Play with it. Perhaps grab elbows. Engage your belly slowly, rolling up. Arms out and open towards the sky. Palms come together and pour them down to the front of your heart space, holding them there for a moment. Bringing hands to heart, find the soles of your feet, lifting up all 10 toes, 4 corners rooted into the mat, lower toes down. We're going to come into tree pose. Left heel is going to come to the right calf. Slide the left sole of the foot to the right calf. Draw your knee backwards. And come into whatever tree is fun for you. Let it be a little whimsical, a little playful. You can have a super tall tree, reaching arms to the sky. You may want to have your tree sway today. You may want to hug a tree. Let it be fun. Notice what feels really good to you. 2 more breaths wherever you are, enjoying it. Releasing arms wherever they are, bringing them back to heart center. Draw your knee in front. Straight your leg long in front. Flex your ankles, spread your toes. Bend the knee. And we're going to shift forward into warrior 3. Draw your knee behind you, tipping and balancing, whatever works for you. Stretch that left leg long behind you. And balance to the best of your ability. You might reach your arms out and fly. That's fun. You can bring your hands behind you or in front of you. Notice what feels really fun. Wiggle your fingers. Test yourself. Hands back to heart center. Draw that knee in front of you and lower it down. Be kind to the right ankle, rolling it out, wiggling your hips, and coming back to stand, lifting up on your tiptoes for a moment, hands to heart center as high as you can, stretching tall, growing tall, 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 as high as you can, and lower heels to floor. Right ankle is going to come into the left shin, sliding the sole of the foot up, wherever it would like to be today for your tree pose. Draw the right knee back, engage your right glute here. Arms can come to the sky, out. You can give yourself a hug, not hug a tree lady. Let yourself enjoy the whimsy of it. And if you're tippy on one side or the other, just enjoy the tips. Don't forget to breathe. The breath creating space. Tuck the right knee back a wee bit more for the last breath or 2. Wherever you are, bring hands back to heart center. Draw right knee in front. Extend the right leg. Play with your toes. Maybe roll the ankle out. The right calf might still be cranky. Bend the knee. Shift your weight forward. Right foot comes behind you, coming into warrior 3. Whatever feels good to you. You can fly or not. Do whatever works for you. This side might be completely different than the other. When you're ready, bring your right knee in front and lower it down, shake it out. We're going to do one more balance pose before we lie down, because balance poses invite a bit of whimsy because we tip over. We have to be in the moment. So we're going to do dancer pose, bringing left knee up in front at 90 degrees. Slide your left hand over left knee, down left shin, grab the left ankle, hugging the left heel to your rear end. Notice your right toes, set them up for success. Reach right arm to the sky. And right here, you can envision yourself as a flamingo, standing tall, reaching tall. growing as tall as you can. Some of you might want to stay here as a flamingo. It's fun. I kind of like it. And my left thigh really appreciates it. Others of you may wish to tip forward into dancer. Have some fun. Do what feels good. Let it be your own dancer. And if you're dancing, i.e. wiggling and tipping, perfect. Shifting back upright. Lower right hand to right thigh. Take a moment here. Press your heel into your rear end for one more stretch. Release the foot, lower it down. Be really kind to that right calf and ankle. Rolling the right foot out. Plant your left foot into the earth. Drawing the energy up in through it to your hips. Even your hips out here. Engage your belly. Right knee comes in front. Slide your hand over the shin, heel to rear end. Coming into this side, flamingo. Reach left fingers towards the sky. Grow as tall as you can. Wiggling fingers, allowing a lightness and a whimsy as you tip into dancer if you feel like dancing. And notice what worked on the other side may or may not work on this side. Letting go of your perfectionism, which is not whimsical. In fact, if they look different, how fun. Coming back upright to flamingo if you are dancing. Lower left hand to left thigh. Lower your foot. Roll it out with total kindness for whatever you are feeling here. And we will make our way to the floor with whatever grace you've got. Let yourself have fun with it. When you arrive on the floor, hug your knees to chest and have a rock. And as you rock, just notice all the sensations. Lots of sensations in the knees and the ankles, in the shins. Come to stillness with knees to chest, squeezing them tight. Point your toes. Enjoy the blood flow in the shins. Flex your ankles towards your shins with knees bent. Huge breath in and out. Hug left knee into chest, extend right leg. Forehead to left knee, squeezing tight. Point your right toes long. Exhale, lower down. Hands to the back of the left thigh. Reach left toes to the sky. Flex ankles, spread toes. Lots of sensations here. Bend your knee. Hug it in. Straight left leg alongside right. Lower hands to the floor and notice for a moment how you feel. Bend both knees. Right knee into chest. Straight left leg. Forehead to right knee. You can envision giving your knee a kiss. Lowering back down. Hands come to the back of the right thigh. Stretch your leg long. Flex ankles, spread toes. Lots of sensations. Welcome them in. Perhaps roll ankles, right ankle if you need it. Notice what feels good. Let yourself be in the moment and do whatever is right for your ankles and shins. Bend right knee, hug it in, squeeze it tight, roll ankle. Lower your right knee to the floor. Bend the left knee, knock knees together, hands overhead in an easy cactus shape, drop knees to the right, windshield wiper. Knees together, knees to the left. And do a couple here. Some of you will want to windshield wiper fast. Some of you will want to just hold the stretch. Do what your body enjoys and craves. Listen to it. Be whimsical with it. Sometimes the wipers go fast in your car. Sometimes they're on that slow mode. Sometimes you have to turn them on every time. Do whatever feels good to you. And when you feel complete, pause back in the center. Move feet so they are in parallel with the knee. Drop right knee to the side. Draw your right heel towards your rear end. Slide the right foot between the left ankle and left rear end as far as you can. Lower knee to the floor. And enjoy a stretch here for a moment. Hands can be on your belly, on your heart, or above you. 3 breaths. Letting heart slow here. Sending some love into the right hip flexor, the right thigh. Noticing how you feel. We will switch sides. You'll bring the right foot, slide it back out, bring it alongside the left. Left knee comes to the floor. Slide the left foot between the right heel and rear end in the triangle and lower the left knee to the floor. Enjoy the stretch. 3 wonderful breaths. And notice if your head needs a little release, your fingers need a release, your shoulders. Do whatever feels good here. Getting yourself ready for Shavasana. Slide the left foot out, bring it alongside the right, and come into a Shavasana that feels the most wonderful to you. You could do a supported fish if you happen to have blocks, which is a block under your scapula and one under your occiput. You could come into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclining butterfly. Or you could come into a traditional Shavasana corpse pose. Not sure that's whimsical. On your mat, palms open towards the sky. I'm going to call it the flying carpet version instead. Setting yourself up on your mat wherever you are and taking a moment to find the Shavasana that feels best to you. And I invite you here to drop into stillness and relaxation. But as you do, invite it to just be lovely, to be wonderful, to be fabulous, to be delightful. Letting your body do what it does when you let go. Perhaps it flies like it's on a magic carpet ride. Perhaps it's lying in a carpet of wildflowers. Perhaps it's lying in a grassy park with those beautiful blue sky and light summery clouds floating overhead. Perhaps you're lying in the snow like you're a snow angel. Let yourself just enjoy it wherever you are, wherever your body would like to go for a few moments here on the mat. Letting go of control of everything, the breath, the muscles, fingers, toes, even the thoughts. If they continue to pour in, let them pour in and pour out. Let yourself simply be and enjoy.
you wish, stay longer. Let yourself take advantage of the time, a chance to relax longer than usual, perhaps. Give yourself permission to enjoy. And for those of you who want to or need to come out, begin to gently deepen your breath. Slowly wiggle fingers and toes. And stretch however feels good to you. Have a little wiggle. And make your way to seated, also, however feels good to you. You might rock, you might roll, you might stay on one side and press up. Do whatever feels good. And when you arrive, drop back into that Shavasana restful place. Close eyes. Hands can be open on thighs or hands to heart. Choose what feels good to you. Take the deepest, slowest breath you have taken all day. Longest, smoothest exhale all day. Drop chin to chest towards your heart. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. The light and whimsy in me honors and respects the light and whimsy in each and every one of you. Bringing chin back to neutral. Thank you for all that you do for others. Make sure to take time for you as well. Take some time to find joy and whimsy and delight and play and lightheartedness this week and every week. May you all have a beautiful day and happy National Women Physicians Day to those of you who have managed to have that amazing description. Namaste.